All right, let's try this again with a mic that is actually working. Okay. Do 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 do. All right, so we just did presidential powers, all this sort of stuff. All right. Interaction with Congress. Okay. So we've seen that President Trump has had issues getting stuff through the Senate. President Biden will have issues getting stuff through the Senate, particularly if the Republicans win at least one of the runoff elections in Georgia, because then you're going to have a Republican majority in the Senate. Okay, so you throughout President Trump's term, you've seen battles over his appointments. So appointing cabinet members, okay, appointing ambassadors as well, okay, so appointing judges, all right, particularly appointing judges. White House staff isn't that big of a deal because Congress doesn't approve of White House staff. So make sure you get down that like cabinet members, ambassadors, those have to be Senate confirmed. Senate, by the way, Senate. Senate confirms. House has nothing to do with it. It's only the Senate. White House staff, that's the president's up to the president's discretion himself. Okay, so press secretary, chief of staff. All right, President Trump has had like I want to say like 6 chiefs of staff. All right, so Kayleigh McEnany is his current press secretary. There have been this is Sean Spicer right here, his first one, dressed up in the literally this is him dressed up in the Easter Bunny costume. You've had Sarah Huckabee Sanders as press secretary. All right, that's all examples of White House staff. Okay, Senate has nothing to do with them. Okay. Senate confirmation is an important check on the appointment powers. All right, but the president's longest lasting influence is judges. Okay, President Trump will have 2 huge influences on the U.S. federal government. Okay, historically, one is going to be just absolute disregard for norms. Okay, the man does not care about norms. All right. He is going to do whatever he wants to do until someone tells him not to. Okay, so does not care about norms. All right. Number 2, he has been able to confirm well over 100. I think he might actually be at 200 now. Judicial appointments. Okay, and the reason why he was able to do that is because Republican Senate during President Obama's tenure didn't confirm any of President Obama's judges. Okay, because it was a Republican Senate. They were like, yeah, we're not going to do it. Okay, so Republicans prevented President Obama from confirming his judges, which left all of these openings. And as soon as Trump became president, business was open. And they've been able to appoint all of these judges to all the federal district courts, all the appellate courts, and then they've gotten 3, sorry, yeah, 3 to the Supreme Court. Right. Executive orders. Okay. Congress, not a huge fan of executive orders because you're kicking Congress out of the way. Okay, so Congress could pass a law to override an executive order. Excuse me. But the president's probably going to veto that law, so you got to make sure you have the 2/3 vote to override that. Okay? So Congress not a huge fan of executive orders. So you have some presidents will try to be careful. President Trump has done a lot of executive orders. A lot of those executive orders have been for show, all right, but he's been able to get a lot done with executive orders and not involving Congress. All right. How do you interact with the people? Okay. Well, the president really has three audiences. Okay. He has the American people, he has DC insiders, okay, and then he has the politicians. All right. So when you talk about his three audiences, how is he appealing to the American public? How is he appealing to the people that work in DC? Okay. It's not the deep state, but these are the individuals that are involved with, that talk about politics, that are involved in politics. All right. The upper class of Washington, D.C. Okay. And then what about Congress itself? Okay. How is he influencing those people? So you work with those individuals differently. All right. When President Trump is tweeting, he's tweeting to the American people. He's tweeting to like the guy that's on Twitter. He's not tweeting to the hoity-toity of DC. He has typically just not cared about them. Okay. All right. We talked about the bully pulpit. All right. So the bully pulpit is the president's ability to influence the American public. The president's ability to influence the American public. Okay. President Trump has been excellent at using the bully pulpit. All right. And his bully pulpit has been Twitter and his rallies by extension. Okay. Coattails. Okay. It used to be, and you'll see it. So like, how is the president polling in your district? If he's super popular, you're going to want him to stop by. If he's not popular, you know what? Thanks for the invite, but why don't you go somewhere else? All right. So like when President George W. Bush, at the end of his presidency, he was at like around a 30% approval rating. 30%. Not ideal. Okay. He would call up, Republican congressman. Hey, you want me to come for you? Like, dude, no, phone's dead. Okay. If a president is popular, you want to be with that person. Okay. All right. Just like, you want to be with the Lax Bros. They're the hottest of all of you. All right. They're the best people. All right. So the closer I am to the Lax Bros, all right, the better off I'll be. All right. Do I want to be with the nerds, the McMullins? No. Ew. Who wants to hang out with them? All right. So coattails. All right. If it's popular, yeah, I'll hang out with the president. All right. Not popular. Off-year election woes. Okay, so 2020 was a presidential election. 2022 will be an off-year election, meaning there's no presidential election. It's just Congress that's up for election. Okay. What do you think people are going to come out more to? The presidential election or just Congress? All right. So typically what happens, okay, the percentage of individuals that vote declines. So I bet you we're around like 60%, maybe probably over 60% this year. Well, off-year elections, so 2022 will probably drop down to like around 40. Okay, and typically what happens, the president's party that's in power loses seats in Congress because you're in power now. And if things aren't going great, then screw you. We'll vote for somebody else. All right. Okay. I always forget the 22nd Amendment and the 25th Amendment, this is how you know it's good. Okay. All right. So the 22nd Amendment and 25th Amendment deal with the presidency. All right. 22nd Amendment, as I look at the phone because I'm good at my job. All right. 22nd Amendment says you can't be elected more than twice. All right. The most you can serve is 10 years. So if I take over as vice president with more than 2 years left on that term, I can only run for election once, because I would, if I got elected a second time, I would serve more than 10 years. So it's 2 terms, all right, or years. That is the 22nd Amendment. So for the longest time, it was just like, oh, hey, George Washington was like there for 2 terms. We'll just follow that. And then FDR was like, I don't really want to follow that. Okay. So 22nd Amendment is 2 terms or 10 years. Okay. The 25th Amendment sets the presidential line of succession. So prior to that, we were like, yeah, I guess the vice president should take over. All right. 25th Amendment says, yeah, the vice president is the one that's coming up next. Okay. So, and then we set like a whole line of presidential succession after that. Okay. So 22nd Amendment is 2 terms or 10 years total. Then 25th Amendment is the vice president is the one that takes over. And then after that, so you go vice president, Speaker of the House, President pro tem, who's the oldest person in the majority party in the Senate. And then we go Secretary of State on down. Okay. All right. I love this. This is from, so this is when so this is when Joe Biden was vice president. And I can't remember if this is after Sandy Hook shoot. This is bad that I don't remember which school shooting it, or which shooting it was. But this letter is one of my favorite things in the history of mankind. So this boy sent a letter to Joe Biden saying, "Hey, I figured out how we can stop the guns problem." So Joe Biden wrote a letter to this boy who's like 5 or 6 years old, and so this is his grandmother holding the note card, and I would like to read it to you. Dear Miles, I'm sorry it took me so very long to respond to your letter. I really like your idea. If we had guns that shot chocolate, not only would our country be safer, it would be happier. People love chocolate. You are a good boy, Joe Biden. Okay. His salutation was, "You are a good boy." Like the kid was like a dog. I mean, he took time out of his day to write this kid, which is cool, but just like, people love chocolate. All right. That's the end of the second video. We'll talk about the bureaucracy after this. All right, gentlemen.